I'm not even on the lake, I have to cross the street. But I have a little pontoon boat, and I enjoy my little getaway. But I am here. I am here for you. Anyone that wants to speak to the mayor, anyone that wants to speak to me, you're more than welcome to. I'm planning on having like an afternoon tea, maybe once a week, not from 12 to 3. I'm planning on doing it maybe 3 to 6 or 4 to 6, depending on how many people. Because like Alderman Chapman said, people are coming in off of work. We realized there was a problem with everyone getting their vehicle stickers. I don't know about you, but you saw that line. If you ever go in the line on a Monday, don't come in on a Monday. Come in on a Friday. You can walk right in on a Friday. On a Monday and on a Tuesday, the lines are long. So just give you a little heads up. But we extended the date until April 15th to get your vehicle sticker. The water bills. Did everyone get a water bill this month?
Yeah.
You did in the first ward? Jonathan, did you? Do you know I haven't gotten a water bill since January? Not one mailed to my house. So I had to call the post office because it was mailed. So we gotta figure out a way where we can get the payment or people informed. How do I not informed? We have to be aware. The water bill will come in every month. If you don't get it, please give us a call or come into the city. Not on Mondays, on what day? Fridays. I had a city council meeting. No, I had a city department meeting today with the department heads. And I asked everyone sitting at the table, how many were residents of Harvey? Because there's a big difference from being an employee of Harvey versus being a resident of Harvey. All of us in this room knows what it is to be a resident of Harvey. We know how frustrating it could be trying to get the resources or our questions answered. They tell you to call the department, you call the water department. The water rings and rings and rings. They tell you to call the street department, rings and rings and rings. If it wasn't for Alderman Chapman who said Gov Pilot, how many people heard that? To go on the website? She said, it's been down. I didn't know that. Come to find out, we've been paying the bill for 4 months, but they haven't activated it. So it's like, wow, what happened? Well, we got the credit for those 4 months. So it's up and running. We implemented a plan that somebody will always check it, make sure it's up and running. But you can do GovPilot. Now, people say, well, I put in a complaint. You put in your first complaint. You don't hear anything. How many days do you wait till you file your second complaint?
2 hours.
2 hours? Good luck on that one.
2 days.
2 days. And if you didn't hear anything, what?
Come to City Hall.
Or call the mayor's office. I'm telling you, Corinne Davis is the administrative staff, and Ramona is the mayor's assistant. Call her. Get your information. You don't get her like many people do. I'm on Facebook. I'm not taking any new friends, but you can always message me. You can always message me, and I do check that. I'm not going to run again. So this is not a bunch of BS. I'm here. This is my home. This is your home. We care about it. We want a safer community. We have a crime center. What is it called, Chief? Real-time crime center. I heard of it as an alderman. I did not know it. Chief, what happened when I saw it?
You requested the alderman come and say.
Yes, automatically, the aldermen have to see this. Now, I wish we can open it up to the whole public right now, but we're work in progress. There are certain things that we have to do. Those cameras that you see, people say, oh, well, they're just following you. Those are people that say that are paranoid for any reason. They're not being used for nothing but to protect your property and protect our city from crime. If you live in my ward, the first ward, we all know where the first ward is, right? It's on the east side of Harvey. It's on the east side, past Page Avenue, underneath the viaduct in that whole section. People are shooting out the cameras. Do you know how much money those cameras cost? When you see something, you have to say something. Why are they shooting them out? We don't know. But when we find out, there's gonna be a hefty cost. Because they're expensive. They're to protect you. They got a drone. Have you ever seen a drone in the air? Immediately, this drone can fly out. See the fires? It gets sent out. Now, we're gonna have an open house. We're gonna have an open house. It's not going to be where people say, well, why can't you show everything? Well, how do we know you're not a criminal? How do you know I'm not a criminal? How do you know I'm not gonna stake your property? So we can't show everything. I don't even know everything. But it's there to protect you. That's all it is. Not something to find out, oh, you didn't pay your last parking ticket, where'd you go? No, no. That's if somebody comes up and they carjack you. You can get the license plates and you can go out from that. So we got a lot of things that we're working on. There's a lot of things I don't know. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say I know them. If you have any questions for me and I can't answer it, I'll guarantee I'll get back to you. I will get back to you. So I'm gonna open it up. Anyone have any questions for me? Yes, sir.
Question. For the last few days, with all of this rain, my sewer been backed up 2-3 times. And I go out and look at the sewer, the water is green.
Okay.
There's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go. We know, we heard the media, there is a lot of flooding.
Yeah.
A lot of flooding. When the CalSAG closes down, we get it backed up. Whatever happens downstream, happens upstream. Now, I'm not saying that's the only thing. We have not done all our cleaning yet. The jetter, okay, now on your particular street, when you look down there and if there's a lot of water, there's a lot of debris down there.
Yeah, because I haven't seen the tank come and suck up at the end of winter to spring. They used to clean the drains.
They
I
don't.
haven't seen one truck.
And we didn't have the staff to do it.
No.
And what is that truck called?
The jetter truck.
The what?
The jetter truck.
Jetter truck. That was down. So that's up. If you want, you can give him the address. If you have a piece of paper. Kobe, do you have a piece of paper? If you have that, we're gonna go with one question first and then we'll go back, all right? To make it fair. So put your address down and put down that you need your drains cleaned. Okay, yes, sir.
All of the they put a camera right up our house on 48th and Page.
Mhm.
I've been complaining over the street department a couple of weeks ago about all the garbage from the couches and tires on Page all the way around my house. It's a huge house sitting here. Even the people next to me, y'all put a tow sticker on my Audi, and I had to junk it, but the guy on the other side of me, they parked junk cars, tried to put a burn-up car there in the lot with couch. The garbage man took the couch finally. I couldn't believe it. I was like, did the street department make him take it or something?
Well,
But in front of me, I called about the fire when somebody set the big pile of garbage on fire. This is what when we look out our windows, this is we look at all this garbage all the way around us, abandoned buildings all the way around. I mean, who's monitoring the cameras? They probably see me out there picking up all the garbage down Page, down 148.
But that's not what they're looking for. But the garbage is very important when you talked about. We are coming out of winter. We don't have the staff. We laid off all our union people. So we have a handful of union. The reason why we had to do this, why we don't have our staff, is because we all heard that the fire pension and the police pension did not get paid for 12 years, right? Did not get paid for 20 years. Now, just imagine how many people here retired from their company. I did. How many of us retired from our company that gets a pension? Yeah.
Too young.
Too young, okay. But, so we know what it is to get a pension. Your fire pension and your police pension did not get paid. So when the first responders go out and they retire, there's no money for them. That's not fair. So the courts in 2018 mandated the city to pay the police and fire pension. So when the courts told us that, they said in 2018, all funding, no matter what you get, all revenue, 35% has to come off the top. So we have $100 in revenue. We have to give the state comptroller $35 for every $100. That goes away. So now we're at how much money?
65.
That's how much we have, 65. Okay, we did good. 18, 19, 20, 21. All those years, we didn't get big grant money. We didn't get much. Because all those years prior, there was an abuse of grant money, right? We all heard about the hotel bill. We all heard about the bonds. City couldn't get any money from anywhere. So 19, 20, 21, we're saying, hey, look at us. We got a new team here. We're paying our bills. We're coming out. Can we get a grant now? So they started giving us grant money. Does anyone here know about grant money?
Yes.
Who does? You do. Can you explain what happens with the grant? No? Okay. Okay, with the grant, and correct me if I'm wrong, you get $100 in a grant. I'm keeping the math down because I'm tired and have the math. We get a $100 grant. This grant has to go for that particular project. So this grant means this pen can get relocated to there. And I'm just using this as an example. So, and it's gonna take us $100 to do that. So we did that. We did that with the Broadway Street. Broadway looks very nice now, not Broadway, 154. It looks really nice, right? That was the grant. They told us we could only use it for that location. So we applied for that grant. Hey, at least we got one street redone, right? We're starting off. But guess what happened? They took 35% of that money. The comptroller. No one told us it's grant money because grant money is allocated for this, yes. But they took it. So it was like, we had to pay $1.8 million back. Yes, because they took it and we already agreed to spend that money on this. So that came in, which we did not know, and we threw us all off our balance. So come September, October, we had no other alternative but to lay off. The mayor laid off. Lower police representatives, lower fire, lower street departments, lower operational services. And contrary to what anyone says, but services weren't impacted. What do you mean they weren't impacted? They were impacted by me. Were they impacted by you? Absolutely. Absolutely. They were impacted by all of us. So we decided that we were gonna put a bill and say we are a distressed city. Remember that? Y'all heard about that in October? Yep. A distressed city. We got our funding back. May I? Thank you. We got our answer. It's not official, but we don't qualify. Can you believe that? We don't qualify. We are the lowest collector, 5%. The lowest collector. So compared to any other towns, I think Cal City is at 87. I think we're at 60, maybe 61%. Plus taking that 35%. But the state said we don't qualify. But guess what? There's no written qualifications for it. There was 2. If you are below the 5% and above the 5% in taxes. So,
Was there an appeals process for that?
well, we're in the process. This is in Springfield taking place now.
But that's the problem.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Springfield is a problem.
Exactly. Springfield is $2.6 billion in the hole. So that was on the news prior to the election. So they're not coming because there's no bylaws. And if we did it here in Harvey, what makes our sister community in Dalton? What makes our sister community Riverdale? What makes our sister community in Thornton? Because everybody's hurting. On top of that, when did you get your tax bill? Yeah, don't even mention it, right? I agree. And we're starting to get the money trickling in now, but it's slow. And remember, the comptroller's still taking 35%.
When does that end?
When does that end? Is when we pay off the bill. And that should be right now in 2 years. We're trying to lower the percentage so we can bring people back and maybe extend it. Fire department doesn't want to do that.
I wouldn't.
You know what? I'm not saying one way or the next. I understand their point. So with that, we're trying to figure out extra funding. So the mayor put in a bill to see if the state can give us $30 million of a bailout. We can pay our Chicago water bill, because remember, we're still paying on that. And even though it was way high, we got it down to about 12 million. That's a great deal. We got it down. Fire pension, we got about 7 million left to go. The problem is, the fire pensions attorneys want $5 million of that. And it's like, wow, police pension is all paid up. So we are doing our best financially, but there's still more cuts that we could do. So I want all the vendors, all the vehicles. Let's see, do we need all these vehicles in the city? What can we do with that? Phones. anything that we can cut cost. And just like you, I have X amount of money coming in my household, and I have X amount of money that I can spend. So I take pride to balance it out. And I'm not going to ruin our credit for that. I got a perfect credit rating, yes.
Yes, why not open up the books so that the
Oh,
Harvey
that's a
residents
very good question.
can-
I
can
hear
see
that all the
maybe-
time.
Maybe we can come up with ideas
Right.
to
What
also
do you mean by open up the books?
show us what's going on, you know, just.
We
just-
do, we have the audits. The audits are on the website. Everything you need to know is on the website. Now, if you wanna open up the books and talk about how much, say, how much was the ComEd bill? And you wanna see the receipts for every light, can you imagine how much our comptroller would have to sit with over 20,000 people? We put everything on the website. Audits, we're 3 years behind.
So
But
that's
you-
not
So
helping.
that's.
No,
I'm
wait,
talking
wait,
about current.
right,
I'm saying current.
and we're working on that. This year, we got one audit done, they're gonna do back to back, so we'll have that.
That's looking backwards though. I'm
But-
saying, why can't we look at where everything is now?
What
so
would
that we
be,
can
what would
work
be
towards
helpful
it?
for you to do that? What would you wanna see?
The budget versus actuals.
Exactly,
Budget versus
Yeah.
actual?
yeah.
Receipts, invoices, bank
No.
statements?
No, you're not gonna get the receipts.
Why not?
I just said that, Ryan.
Other cities do it. Why can't you? Why are you hiding the money, Shirley?
But, you know what, I'm not gonna entertain that, because I am not hiding any money. Receipts, we do not have the time to go and show 2,000 residents receipts. Put it on the website,
Yeah.
I can see about doing that.
Do a budget versus actual, that way we know what was budgeted this year
Taxpayers, we
versus what
deserve.
you paid. What has been expended,
Yeah.
and what revenue has come in, what revenue did you expect, what has actually been received.
Let me
That's
talk to
something-
Williams about that.
Yeah. that's-
Let me talk to Williams about that.
He ain't never gonna do it, so no, she ain't gonna talk
It's
to
not
him.
Come up
hiding.
with ideas to help bring additional
That-
money into the city.
And do you know on the website, look at the audits.
That's looking
No,
backwards
but
though.
I,
The audits are not complete, Mr. Winsky, as we've covered many times.
Okay.
The auditing firm says the city did not provide accurate information, so unfortunately, I wish we could, but they are not accurate.
okay. I want you to look at the audit. You may say looking backwards, but then you can understand our accounting process. And then I will have Williams to see about opening up, I don't know if this is possible, but seeing if he can have a meeting. But to sit back and say, what we do for one resident, we gotta do for all the other residents. So having ideas, you have your alderperson. If I had to take everyone's idea here and try to make a decision what's best for our city, do you know how complicated that would be?
That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about if we have a group, we present one idea, we come up with the ideas to help, and we present it to you.
Okay, and you can do that. You can do that through your alderman. You can do that. Your
But
alderman,
we need to see where things are. before we
I
can-
understand that. I do understand that. And I will talk to Williams about that. I'm not making any promises to that, because I don't know, what the system is capable of doing. I am not, I'll get with you in a minute. I am not an auditor. But to make comments that I'm stealing the money,
Who made that comment?
yes, no, not here. Ryan has said that. I'm not going to entertain that.
We need to know how deep
Yes.
this debt hole is.
Oh, we can
So
tell
that-
you that,
so
yes. We can get
come
you
up with
that.
ideas.
And Shirley, if you're not stealing, just show us where it's
Do
going.
me a favor.
It's very easy.
I'm not showing you, Ryan. You can talk to your alderman.
Other towns do that, so why
And
can't Harvey?
Because we're not other towns.
So we don't deserve to know where our money's being spent? That's my
I didn't say
question.
that.
That's what you're saying.
No, you're saying two different
You're telling
things.
us that you won't show us.
Ryan, I am not going to this meeting with you. I'm not.
Excuse me,
You
Mr.
have
Yeah, I'm a
done-
citizen. I'm a resident
You
here.
are a citizen, but so are everyone here, and you tend to interrupt, and you do not take your course. We have a gentleman there, and we have a gentleman there.
And
This gentleman
how
was
dare you
talking-
insult me? All these residents also want to see where their money's going, Mr. Rinsky. Thank you. Do not make
See
this
how
about me.
personal this gets?
Mr.
Do
Rinsky.
you see how personal this gets?
Mr. Rinsky, because you're insulting me, and that is not appropriate for the
Do I
mayor of a
seem
city.
like I am insulting anyone?
Yes, Mr. Rinsky,
No.
you
How
are.
many people say yes, and how many people say no? Don't answer. You know between right and wrong.
Inappropriate.
Yes, sir.
WGN and WLS are reporting that Dalton is going for a water, some kind of a water reclamation program for their
Sure.
streets.
Sure.
Where does Harvey fall into that as far as trying to get, as the old gentleman up there said earlier about tunnels needing to be flushed out and all that kind of stuff? Where do we fall into that avenue? Because that, if they're gonna do that, they're gonna be tearing up Sibley and Greenwood and all of those other streets, which will eventually lead into us, which we all lead in
Right.
together.
Right?
So with that being said, are we gonna try to get onto that list? Because then that too would help us with our street zone.
Yes.
And are we gonna get on that list? Are we trying to get on that list? or not?
Well, and the referendum just passed. I saw it in Dalton, it just passed. I didn't even look into that, and that would be something that we could look in. Is, you have your list going with your question on there?
Oh,
Yeah.
this was my thing, I got.
Oh, no, a piece of paper, so I can get back. I can get back at the next meeting, or whenever I get the
Yeah,
answer.
I got this is what you asked for.
Right, but if you can hand it to him to put his question on it.
Which one?
Mike,
Yep, so I can get back. Like I said, I don't have all the answers. All right, let me go to this gentleman here.
I was the pickup, you talking about the garbage pickup?
Yeah.
and everything. Martin's been able to help us out
Yeah.
with that's a great thing. I've seen some cleanup
Yeah,
in the
I'm very
market.
excited
I've been
about
here probably ever since 1969. But my, how we engage, not just us, but, the community's changed with Mexicans and the Arabs and.
Sure.
How we gonna engage them to be involved with this process of moving forward? 'Cause they come in and doing great, I mean, I have some great Mexican neighbors.
Right.
They doing some great things and they doing, and rejectedly, they told me a couple years ago, they still waiting for their citizenship. That's nothing, they have a problem getting their citizenship.
Right.
And they've been there for 20 years, they're making more money than I'm making.
Absolutely. Okay, with your question, how do we get other ethnic groups engaged? By talking to them. By talking to them, by telling them to come to the meetings, by telling them to feel a part of it. But we
They'll
can't,
mail stuff out to the houses, mail, some type of mailing.
but again, that costs money.
I know.
In the first ward, you get mailing. You know what I paid for a mailing in the first ward? One flyer, one flyer.
5,000.
No, oh God, I couldn't afford to do that. $600. I'll be with you in a moment. $600 for one mailer. And that's just a one page. That's just a flyer saying what's going on in the meeting. I do that every ward meeting. So if the mail doesn't get it, if you don't get it, and you live in the first ward, when I was the alderman, I would call the postmaster. Now, as a city,
As a letter carrier, the problem with the post office is staffing.
yeah,
So they'll let, this stuff might be sitting on in different parts for months at a time before they get out to the
Right.
station. Because
Right.
you know they wanna count everything.
are you in the Harvey Harvey post office?
No, I worked at home with Rosemary. all
I'll
my-
tell you
most of my
what,
trips.
I
I'm just saying, I
know
the
Miss
hard-
Smith, I know Miss Smith, she is the postmaster there. I go there, I hand deliver it, or my brother does, and we make sure she's aware of it in the
Right,
tea,
but I'm
and
saying
3
the
days.
process goes down. Central Park. and they
Right,
like sitting-
but no, I mail it in Harvey, because these are all Harvey residents. But you're right, that does, when you go in with the cheaper mailing. But I know we're running a little late, I don't wanna take all the questions. Was there a question here?
So it sounds like to me, we need some creative work. I hear citizens talking about, hey, how can we help out? Unfortunately, in the system I am in, I'm over 2 churches, one in the city and one out here. So I don't live out here, but my members know that if this was my only place, I'd be living here. But how do we connect with, summer's coming, so you've got youth and young adult programs that, or working with the jails when they go clean up highways.
Sure.
Because a lot of times I come down this alley and park on the churches, and this alley just in the last week has gotten worse, and it's people dumping, and I see
Yes.
it. I go up Halsted to go back to Pullman, and that daggone old apartment building next to the Popeyes and the little liquor store, they in and out of that. We got all these abandoned buildings. How do we, and maybe this is, after your watch, to build something, but how do we go after revenue through these abandoned buildings by suing ownership for not fixing or having them this and that?
And
They
that-
clean up and then they dump,
Yes.
next week later they redump.
Yeah, first word, had to clean up. Right off of Austin, 157 in Austin, they cleaned it up,
And
and
it's right
that
back.
neighbor was moving and threw it right back.
So we
Well, that
gotta-
neighbor's gonna get a ticket because somebody got a thing, and it's still sitting there right now, after we already cleaned up. The churches, we have,
Yeah.
the Pentecostal church, they have a community event. They go throughout the city, they get a set of volunteers, and they take up an area.
Yes.
That the Pentecostal church does that. Lord of Mercy, they have a section, they clean up that area. So the churches can get involved by getting people volunteered. When you have a pickup, when you have like a bunch of garbage, you can definitely call your alderman. Your alderman can put in a report, and then we can have the city come and pick it up. Now, I'll get to you in a minute. But the sheriff's department, not only are we using it, Cook County's
Everybody's
using it,
using it, yeah.
everyone. So you get it one weekend, and you get a few people, and you have to have a porta pot, and you have to have all the equipment with them, and renting out a porta pot to get the area, you don't even know who's gonna show. So this Harvey Network is planning on doing a community cleanup. So if we can get it all coordinated with everyone together, and we live here, we live here, not saying, when I did the ward cleanup, I had a 94-year-old woman come up to show up. And she did it.
There you go.
She did it. But, and in any case, everyone can do their part. If you see something, say something. You see somebody dumping, it's not supposed to be, take a picture. Somebody told me at the police department, I took a picture, at City Hall meeting, I took a picture of the vehicle doing the dumping, and somebody told them, well, if we don't see it, we can't do anything. Not true.
That's not true. Yeah.
Not true. Street department, don't you go out and check receipts in the garbage and everything else?
As well,
Yes.
yes.
So we're working on that, but it's gonna take all of us. Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to go back to the $30 million, just like to circle
Sure.
back. And I have twofold question. The first question is, what is Harvey's operating budget? The second question is, will the $30 million be used to pay off the firemen so that you come right with that? And then will it be used for operating budget, hiring back policemen, firemen? How will that $30 million be used? And as far as not being approved for the distressed city, do you feel that the city should be in compliance with certain things before that is even done? Like audits, like making sure that you're not spending frivolously before you reapply again, if that's something that you can do.
Okay. You got two questions here. First question is the $30 million. That is what Mayor Clark applied for. There is no way we're gonna get $30 million. There is no way. The intent was to pay off the fire pension and stop the comptroller from taking our 30% of revenue. If the comptroller doesn't take our 35% of our revenue, then we should be okay, and then live within our means. That is the objective. That $30 million was a wish list. I told Mayor Clark it was a wish list. But he said that he went with that with the intent of negotiating down. We still owe the water department the city of Chicago 12 million. So if we can get the fire pension and the water department paid off, we're sitting well. And increase the properties, and increase the property tax. You know, I'll be right there, increase the property tax. I don't want to take over this meeting, and I got 2 more questions, well, 3, I gotta come back to you. 4? All right, I'll settle 4, so this way I can move on to others. But we're gonna have a city meeting. We will have that, just give me a little time to organize it. And then I will definitely, what?
Have it at the high school again, it's better seating and everyone can hear better.
Possibility, it's always a possibility. But your alderman will definitely know, and it will all be on the website. Okay, second question, you talked about the 30 million pipe dream, bringing back officers. My target date is bringing everyone back by May. That is my target date. I wanted April, we can't do April, but we started bringing people back now. The fire department got somebody back, the police department got somebody back, and the street department got somebody back. And then we're gonna start rotating. We have to do it in those orders. You know, and the only reason why I can't give the fire department, or I can't give the police department all their people back and keep the street department, then I'm in violation with the unions. So it's, cause there's all different unions, and we gotta keep everyone happy. We gotta keep everyone happy. And you know, I can't keep everyone happy. My main concern is keeping us all safe. That's the main concern. Okay, okay.
I had a quick question. I'm gonna go back to what you were saying about the city parking, or the stickers on the window.
Yeah.
Now, I know y'all from 9 to 12, some of us are working.
I know,
So
I
go to
am
the
trying to
police
get that,
station, get it?
you know what, you are absolutely right, and I'm gonna tell you, I talked to the department today about extending the hours, but we're limited with the union. We don't do it at the, currency exchange anymore, I don't know what happened with that, you know, we don't do that. But we're gonna work out a workable solution.
Nice.
Yes.
And my last question is, I live off 146 in Peoria, and it's like, you feel like you in World War II somewhere, the holes in the ground.
Oh.
I feel like I'm about to lose my
Yeah,
tires.
yeah,
Either
yeah,
way, you
yeah.
can't avoid it. So will the street sanitation, or will they be able to like fix it or do something? Cause it's really horrible.
How long, what was the longest person that ever lived here? I lived here 63 years. Anyone longer than me?
30.
You lived 30? Over 30? 67, you gotta speak.
I'm 50.
69 years?
Like,
Oh, no, I'm talking about long. In order to replenish one street to one block is close to $300 million, I'm told.
So it's not me?
Not 300 million, 300,000.
Oh,
You got $300,000
Yeah,
for one street. There's grant money. So when grant money comes in, we're grabbing the grant money. And I don't care if it's Broadway. And Broadway, we know, is not as bad as Peoria or on 163rd in Halsted. You know, there's all big holes. If you go down 157, we had to close that viaduct because there's a big hole down there. We got horrible streets. We all know that. The problem lies is, it's not only in your ward, it's the whole city. So we do the Band-Aid fix.
Can we do a little bit at a time, like one street at a time? I mean, I'm willing
We're
to help.
trying.
I'm willing to help, not just complain.
Right, we just did 154th, we're doing that, but every ward has that one major street, and if there's no grant money covering it, then we can't do it. Now, fixing the potholes, we're gonna do that. We just put in a bid for the asphalt, thank you. I know when I was an alderman, I went to Cook County and I had the Cook County Commissioner do the first ward. This was a while back, and they brought in the county trucks. Hopefully, Frank Winkle will give us a hand with our streets. Not making any promises, supposed to have a meeting with them. If not, what I need them to do is come in with their equipment to do it.
Does the city employ a grant writer?
A city employer, a grant writer.
They could if they cut Corinne's salary. She's
You
making
know what? I was
$100,000.
told that they write grants. I
We
don't.
don't have a dedicated.
right.
grant
We
writer?
also have administrative assistants,
The
so they
mayor,
get close to that too.
right before the mayor, we let go of the communication director and we let go of the economic development. And the mayor thought he could do it. So he thought he could do the economic development, I'll be with you in a second. Do the class 8s and the business licenses and everything else. I am starting a new committee. That committee is gonna be spearheaded of businessmen and women and residents of Harvey who have the real estate and have, the background in economic development. With that being said, because we do not have money, I'm also partnering up with the Southland Businesses Association. They have a funding where they can come in and help with that. I am not an economic developer. I'm on the committee, but I am not. And I'm not taking on that role. That is just way too much. I told the mayor it was too much for him, and he had the background. So we're working on that. The person that I am thinking of appointing, he is a resident and he works in Chicago, and that's what he does in Chicago. So he's willing to volunteer here for his hometown. You know, all of us are here for various reasons. It's not all about money. We're here because this is our home. So that I understand. Yes, ma'am.
It is about money. We need economic development.
Yes, we do. We do.
Okay, and it's gonna take vision, it's gonna take ideas.
Right.
Okay, and to work with this little small group of people, staff at the city hall.
Right.
Those are all the ideas that you get. We need corporations here, we need
Absolutely.
big lots. What is the plan?
What is the plan? That's a very good question. I can't answer that. What is the plan? I can't
Who
make,
can? Who can?
I cannot make,
You have to stamp your weakness.
I can, wait, but I cannot make somebody come here. We had an economic developer. Our taxes in Cook County are very high. So we're trying to work out some deals. Yes, we need economic development.
Where's the vision then? Where's just the vision?
This happened 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago, I've been in this position. I do not have a vision.
I'm talking about the 30 years as an alderman.
I wasn't an alderman for 30
You
years.
finna put that.
Okay, you bring up a point. I'll be with you in a minute. An alderperson, let me tell you the role of an alderperson. Okay, then I gotta cut this up. An alderperson is the legislative aspect of the city. They have one vote. So when you say, what was my vision? If I have a
Not your
mayor,
vision,
But you
the
asked
vision
me-
of the council over the last 20 years.
there wasn't
when you
one.
were-
There wasn't one.
And see, that's part of the problem.
But I
So
agree.
why don't we start with that and just work forward?
But I've been in this position 6 weeks. I haven't even thought of that. I'm trying to get
You've been an alderperson though.
our,
How long you been an
our basic
alderperson?
rights.
You been an alderperson with no
Okay,
vision?
no, and I'm accepting it, but I don't have those answers. Yes, the city of Harvey
She been an
needs a
alderperson with no vision for how
I'm
long?
bringing
Okay.
in from the Southland to come in and look at and assess our property. I do not want to give away our property. So if the
You already
focus
did
is,
that.
I got 1 year here, I put a halt on all properties. We're not selling any properties, we're not giving away any properties.
Except for Turlington.
What?
Except for Turlington.
That was after the fact. That was already in place before I got in. It was right at the same
May I answer my
time.
question?
Yes.
Okay,
Live.
so we
Her
were
name is on
talking
the paper.
about,
Selling it.
you know, wanting to have citizens to engage with government, but, you know, it seems as if whenever we ask for transparency or we push for accountability, then we are targeted. I myself, I was unlawfully arrested. I was, taken to jail, forced medicated. I filed a, internal affairs complaint, was victimized the second time. And it seems as if because we live in Harvey, for some reason, it's easy for you guys to paint us negatively simply because we have pushback. We deserve accountability like any other community. And I feel that for the voting turnout to be what it is, the few of us that do show up should be treated with dignity and with respect, and it should be nobody singled out for whatever they may have say, be it for you or against you. I'm all for healthy dialogue. That is how we come to some sort of agreement. But when you try to stifle other people's voices, like you have done mine, and you have outside agitators come in who seem to have access to information that people who live here cannot even get, then that's a problem, you know?
Can I
And then,
answer?
I'm, one moment, just
Okay.
let me finish. Just like with the installment of this clerk, you know, we took issue with that, about the transparency on that. And to hear, again, this outsider on his show claiming to have access to a video of me saying whatever I was saying.
Okay.
You know?
Outsiders. I am.
But you have a sitting alderwoman who has made it clear that she interacts and loves the antics, but she's steady opening the city up to my nail claims because she seems to think she can engage with citizens like they somebody off the street. Everybody, I tell people all the time, I look like this. Yes, I got a tooth missing, but I'm smart, I'm intelligent, and I know how, I know the games that y'all been playing with the rights of people who live in this city. And it's disgusting. And to invoke God in it, when you do it, you know.
Can I answer, please?
Please do.
Thank you. I don't have people. I am not on social media. I am on Facebook. I do not go
That's
on.
social media.
Let me stand correct. I do not go on YouTube. I do not follow people. I do not have any people. You do not see me walking around in groups. So when you say me, I can only account for me. I can only account for Shirley Drewinski, the elected official. I cannot tell Alderman Colby what to think, what to do, what to say. Just like Alderman Colby cannot tell me. Nor I can be responsible for any other elected official on that board, because you of those people who voted, regardless of the turnout, voted for these individuals to be in. So controlling me by saying I am part of a group, I have never interviewed anyone that I know of
That's how
on YouTube.
citizens get described, like
But
we're a part
that's
of a
not
group
by
simply
me.
because
That's not by
we happen
me.
to share.
But
share
that's
a-
not me.
But
Okay, wait.
I'm telling you that you have done that. That's what I'm
But I'm
telling you.
telling you, I have never done it on YouTube.
And I'm letting you know that this is what scripture says to do. You say that you're a woman of God? What
Oh, I
scripture
am.
says?
I don't say it, I
It
am.
says, lay your gift down at the altar. When your brethren finds that you've done something wrong to them, they have ought, that you lay your gift down and you come and reconcile with your brother. You can't have people showing up every time and you just sweep their concerns aside.
Take
And
it.
then stand up there and talk about God. That's what I'm offended by.
Point taken. Thank you. Yes.
So just to piggyback off what you were saying, you mentioned that you put a halt on properties. One, could you give the date of that, and was that something that was put on the city council agenda to be voted on, or this was just a directive that you put in as your position as interim mayor?
Put it in as acting mayor. And the reason why I did is because I do not have the resources to officially look into these properties. So if we had a city property and I sell it to you, you sell it to her, and you flip it, and it's costing, I sold it to you for $1 and you flipped it and you made $10, you made $9 profit. There's something wrong with that. Why did I sell that to you for $1? So I have to look into the process a lot more. And that is why I reached out to the South Suburban Management. They have a whole core of people. I'm also reaching out to Cook County. I don't have the knowledge. I have people calling me up and saying, oh, I was promised this, I was promised that, I was promised that. I was told I was doing this. I put a stop on all of it because I can't answer somebody's problem unless it's in writing.
Can we have our money back then? I mean, we applied for a few properties, but we went to the CD, we applied, we paid, and then nothing's happening. Can we have at least some money back?
Nothing's happening right now. I don't know once I get these people in place.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not selling any right now. My priority is not the empty
I don't
properties.
mean to respect you, but
No.
I met you, nice meeting you, and I wish for once. that
I
we
know
can
you.
come- Oh.
I know you.
I wish we can come together as a community and do something. I don't know about.
Yeah,
anything
I
about
know
politics.
exactly, and I know what your situation is.
All right.
So, yes,
The question, what date was that?
the date I did that,
Yes.
oh my God. These dates probably about, probably the first week I got in. I haven't interviewed anyone with the properties.
No, I'm saying, so that date, was that communicated, I guess, council meeting, was that communicated?
Oh, no,
to
no,
the,
this is
applicants?
just,
Like, I'm just trying to figure
yeah,
out, like.
no,
what happened and how was it?
No, this was something I made an internal decision, because whenever I was an alderman, the mayor and his staff, or her staff in our case, made the decisions. And that's why I'm taking it back. I want it to be a group, so everything got slowed down on that.
And I'm sorry, because I know that gentleman in the.
Yeah, and I gotta get going, guys.
Just to be clear, you
Because we got
said,
the police,
you said,
so 7:15, I've been here an hour.
the two organizations that you said you were going to connect with.
Yes.
Cook County Economic Development and the South Suburban Mayors. and-
I believe it is mayor and manager.
Those are the two
That's
organizations.
Nick is in that organization, if you know Nick. I met Nick today.
I just want to know who's
He
kind
could
of.
be Southland Chambers. Could be one of those two. Yes, sir. Wait a minute, one more, and then we're going.
How many city cars is Harvey paying for with employees?
Excellent question. I don't have that answer. I'm still looking into it.
Good.
I'm still looking into that. No. That's a high priority.
Okay, good.
And what we're doing is getting the city cars, the license plates, and the mileage. And that's, yeah, no, that's gonna be stopped. Okay, yes.
When I, first came in Harvey, Graves used to make this.
Yes.
And he used to pop up on me when I first started doing my child care.
Okay.
He used to pop up on me, hey, you know, what's up, Mayor? And he moved on. And when Kellogg became mayor, he used to do the same thing, pop up, and, you know, we used to see him just walking around. When Clark became mayor, he put an entourage of police. He made us look like we are criminals in our own city. And we're seeing you do the same thing to make us feel uncomfortable.
Thank you for bringing that up. These guys are here only because Kobe asked for the police to be here. Once I'm done, I'm leaving. These guys are gonna stay right here. They're part of her request, not my request. A lot of people say, oh, I got bodyguards. I'm gonna tell you guys, I don't have a bodyguard. I drive that big beast myself. And if you ever see, I drive that big beast myself. And if you ever saw that, now, I haven't gotten any threats yet. Once I get a threat, that's something different. I'm also telling you that I am not going anywhere by myself at night. Nobody should go by themselves at night. So this meeting is at night. I do have a representative outside in the car. I put my patrol, who used to sit out in front of the mayor's house and in the office, back on the streets.
Good, thank you.
I mean, we're all about each other.
What about that camera?
What camera?
That's at his house.
There's no camera in his house.
You talking about the flock camera that's on the corner, that's mounted up there.
Oh, that's mounted, it's not,
The one that was standing on,
that was
the
what?
one that was sitting on the wheels, he had by his house.
Oh, no, that's by my house now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, you gotta have protection, guys.
I'm with that.
Yeah, you gotta have protection. No, that's at my house now. You know, and that's in the middle of a block where you can see my house and a park district. So, yeah, no, I'm not gonna be silly. And I sure heck don't wanna die. You know, I'm planning on retiring and enjoying life. And I'll tell you what, believe it or not, I had to convince this man. Cause he was like, your safety is the utmost importance.
Safety of citizens.
Right.
What?
Safety of citizens. I mean, you are one individual, but.
Right? And that's why that individual is back on the street. You know, that's why we're putting up
Okay,
the
Sharon,
cameras.
go ahead, though, so we can get some answers, because we ain't got nothing.
Is email the best way? 'Cause that's when you can do it like.
She hates you.
Ah, you brought that good point.
I'm Derek Brown, I brought that point up issue in the email.
Okay, in an email.
You can ask me now, you can answer the email.
Okay. I didn't answer the email? Okay. Did you send it to us,
I
Drowinski?
said exactly how it's written right there. I looked on, the website, City
Oh,
Hall
okay,
first.
there you go. Wait, I gotta explain that one. This email here goes to my assistant. Can you imagine how many emails I get?
I emailed the assistant also.
Okay, and you didn't get an answer?
No, I
When
did
did you
not.
do that?
I did that last week and I did it, I'll do it right now. Do you wanna test when you get there?
Yes, let me
I'm
check.
gonna do it
for
right now,
tomorrow.
always.
Okay,
This will be a fourth email.
fourth email.
Yes. Ramona's your assistant, am I correct?
Right,
She got
Ramona.
the email. CC, Corinne Davis, put Tyrone Rogers on it also, no answers.
Oh,
Well, I apologize, because I gotta tell you, that email right there, and with my email, I got over 6,000 emails. And we're trying to combine them all, and they just got segregated again last week, and we're trying to go through them. The best way to get a hold of me is call the mayor's office.
No, because they don't
Yes.
answer the phone.
I'm sorry, I missed the young lady's name. You don't have a normal internal affairs department, you have a inspector general, I believe. named
Yes.
Anthony Richards.
Yes,
I thought he retired. I didn't know he still worked it.
yeah, he's
So
still
Grim was
working.
like, no, he's still working, I'm serious, he has an office and everything, right by the clerk.
Yeah,
No emails are answered, no phone calls are answered, no text messages are answered.
Yeah, this was.
So,
Yeah,
no, mine was, you
that's
can do a
outside.
test in the room, quite sure there's one
It's
assist.
just outside,
So,
in the parking lot.
I will, I will
Please can
do
address,
that. We will put his on there.
I'm
If
glad
you
you
what's on
have,
there?
what,
It's just not being answered.
then we'll rectify.
Or the phone
He
call, or
told
the
me I
text
might
message.
as well just go to the attorney general if I wanted anything done about what was done to me by Harvey Police.
And that's
And
not
you
the
know
proper
what,
way.
and that's
Another
another
thing is that I did for you the body cam, and I put them on spoilage notice. I'm on body cam saying I'm placing you on spoilage notice to reserve any and all footage related to this arrest.
Okay.
And now I'm on my FOIA And now on my FOIA, you're telling me that you don't have any of the body cam footage. I think that's a problem.
Okay.
I also have one answer for your request. I'm not suing the city, by the way.
Yeah.
Y'all
I
can
am.
have an answer. Keep the proceeds to do it. But I had to actually go through an attorney to get the FOIA request from the police officer. I want to keep having to do this.
No.
I can actually keep doing it,
Yes.
but this needs to stop.
Yeah, you know you got a business card with you?
No, I have my name, address,
Can you,
phone.
okay, I'm gonna give you, actually Reese is out there.
It'd be beautiful to see him. I said, yeah, I thought he retired.
Yeah, he said he was retired?
No, he did not. His
Oh.
actions showed he was.
Oh, I really gotta get going.
Is there any way you can establish maybe like a customer service standard with the emails? Like, can we, like an automatic reply on the emails of you all and the city employees just saying, expect a response within 24 to 48 hours? Just so there can be a standard that can be set.
Right on this. Yes, wait a minute, I'm writing them. Jacqueline, can I write on this? Yes, I like that idea.
But I'm saying the automatic reply, because what happens is like, you don't want to continuously keep emailing and sending somebody's inbox. And even if the answer takes a little more time to be, the email takes a little more time to be responded to, just at least it can be acknowledged.
Obviously, we need to have a city meeting. We do have a meeting.
Pardon me real quick, I just wanna bring it back real quick. There were some tough questions, asked today. I appreciate you being as transparent as possible, Mayor Nowinski, because we wanna continue this. We wanna make this a continuum of meet and greet, and discussions and things of that sort. Ms. Nowinski was supposed to leave about 30 minutes ago, so I appreciate you extending the time. We're now moving into the next portion, which is chief biddings. Just to share some insight about what's going on. And so, next up, because
Can I interrupt?
Yeah, no.
I love the idea of the automatic response, but this lady also said, fill out the subject box. The subject box of what this is about. You need Shirley Drewinski to call you back, or you have something with the street department. Okay? All right, thank you. Thank you. Okay. You don't remember me? Yeah, you do.
So again, I just want to thank you to again, Mayor Drewinski. Next up, we'll have Police Chief Cameron Biddens, who will share, just like Mayor Drewinski, happenings across the city, and then it'll be opened up. I did have an agenda prepared, but based on the time frame, we won't even get to that. I'll just move that to the next meeting, because I think these conversations are more pertinent. And then I also want to acknowledge our city treasurer in the room, Miss Aisha Pickett. We had some additional folks walk in. Please, if you have not, when you came in, or if you haven't filled out the sign-in sheet, please do so. We want to continue to keep an open line of communication with everyone to update you on next happenings, okay? So without further ado, Police Chief Biddens. Proceed.
I can't see.
So what I wanna do is, I am gonna take some questions, but I'll start with giving you guys a list of telephone numbers. I heard quite a few concerns tonight, and wanna make sure they're addressed, specifically from the police department. We are not a perfect police department. We are working and striving to be better every single day. The reason why my team is here, because if there's a question that I can't answer, they're the subject matter experts. So I rely on them to help me through a lot of my day-to-day operations. They deal with the patrol division, the administrative division, as well as the operations of the police department. So that's the investigations division, that's the administrative service bureau. When you walk into the police department, you deal with a records clerk, and also the patrol, boots on the ground that are out there on the streets. First number I want to make sure everyone has, 708-331-3030. That's to reach the Harvey Police Department. So this is not the emergency line. Of course, if there's ever an emergency, you can dial 911. But this number right here will get you straight to our records division, 708-331-3030. The second number that I would like to give you guys is a non-emergency line for Cook County Dispatch. That number is 708-331-2131. Again, that's 708-331-2131, and that's our Cook County Dispatch. That's the non-emergency line. there's ever an emergency, we all know, please dial 911. The next information I'd like to give you guys is if anyone wants to submit an anonymous tip, you guys can reach out to 708-713-4899. Again, that number is 708-713-4899. Or you can email crimetips@cityofharveyil.gov. Again, that's crimetips@cityofharveyil.gov. The madam.
Could you repeat that the number before that one, please?
Which number was that?
The one just before this one?
To submit an anonymous tip?
No, non-emergency.
Oh, non-emergency. 708-331-2131. Just to make mention of a few things that the Madam Mayor mentioned tonight, we did put a moratorium in the police department regarding city stickers. So if you do experience a ticket, if you come outside to your vehicle and you see a ticket on there, please reach out to the Harvey Police Department. We feel that it would be unfair to our residents if people are getting citations and they can't even get to City Hall during the hours in which they're open, because we're limited staff and limited hours. So my team right now understands that we're not issuing any tickets temporarily, and there's a moratorium on issuing city sticker citations. So if there is an issue, I've already talked to the mayor about it previously, my team has already been directed to know not to issue any tickets for that. Another thing that I want to mention is the real-time crime center that she touched on. Alderwoman Chapman, she came by, she experienced some of the things that we do over there. Just so you guys understand, in that center, there's something that we have to be, which is CJIS compliant. That compliance is through any real-time crime center that's throughout the state. This is a very high-tech center. I know the mayor mentioned, and I know she's new at this, she's going through a lot as far as being in this position. A lot of information is coming through fast, so I please ask that you guys can extend her a little bit of grace. I don't intend to open it up to the public because of the type of information that's gonna be coming out of that center. There's very sensitive information. The Chicago Police Department has a secret center at their headquarters. Chicago Heights Police Department has a real-time crime center, and other agencies as well. But it's not necessarily open to the public, because like she mentioned, you don't know if somebody's using it for good or for evil. So that's something that happens there. So when you do think that you see the drone, and you do see the drone in the air, if you do see the cameras that are going up throughout the city, there are certain measures and channels that we have to take to monitor the activity that's going on throughout the city. But there's also information we have to put in that they have to pre-fill out. If they deploy our drone, or if there's cameras being utilized, there's information we have to send to make sure people aren't saying, well, there's a peeping Tom of the police department looking in the front window. So there are laws and there are things that we have to follow, which is one thing is being CJIS compliant. I don't know what that acronym stands for off the top of my head, but that's one thing. Outside of that, if there are any questions in reference to specific things, if I can't answer, that's why I have my team come as well, and I'll take notes if need be. I'll pretty much open it up to you guys.
I have a question. Are you interim or
Yes,
permanent?
sir. No, I'm interim.
When does that job become permanent?
Well, that job became permanent, could have became permanent, or still could become permanent, but it has to go through the board, the city council. So what happens is the mayor makes the appointment, the city council will actually vote on that appointment, and then once they get the majority of the vote, then that chief no longer becomes interim or acting, and then becomes the official chief.
So the new mayor doesn't have to have you as their police chief,
No,
is that correct?
just like any other mayor that's in that specific
Okay.
seat, since she's been voted in, she could switch out any of our positions, because we're not exempt.
Good.
So, anything else?
Well, the other thing I have is, every meeting, you get up and talk before everybody else talks about, you can't clap, you can't talk to people, you can't do that. I noticed in the last 2 meetings, people are clapping, and I don't see your police force coming after them to put them in jail. So, is that done? Or are you gonna quit intimidating people in the meetings? Because you stand behind people when they talk. You're an elbow away from somebody, and they're citizens. That's that intimidation that your police department has a reputation of doing. Are they gonna stop that?
Well, first off, I do apologize if you feel intimidated.
Well, I'm not intimidated, but you're intimidating people to get up there and talk.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not intimidated at all.
Understood. Well, the goal was never for people to feel intimidated, it's for people to feel protected. And unfortunately, it kind of veered off that path. I know we've had some different incidents that happened under the previous chair and the mayor, or chairman and mayor. This current mayor wants certain things done in a different manner. Mayor Clark wanted some things done in different maps.
So you follow what Clark told you to stand behind somebody, and if they say something I don't like, you'll choke them.
It's not.
Or you'll twist their arm like you did Kobe Chapman.
Well, what we do, as police department, we follow records, we follow orders.
Yeah.
If they're not illegal, unethical, and immoral, we follow the order. So with these incidents that you've seen before, the mayor as the chairman, as you knowing that notice that I read, that notice spells out everything that was previously mentioned by the mayor and the city attorney.
Okay.
I've had that conversation recently with Mayor Lewinsky. She wants to change things, which is really fine with us. She says, let's have limited officers, let's not have them stand up and go sit next to people if they're getting out of control. It's really to go over there and tell them, hey, let's get up, let's have you step up, just so we can maintain and preserve the order. So now we've gotten to the point where her and I had that conversation. There shouldn't be as much of a police presence as you've been seeing in the past. So I hope that answers your question.
It does.
Yes, sir.
Brother Cameron, I know you as Valerie Garden's cousin, and I would say that I think me personally feel like you're doing a great job and what you get with the stuff you have. But my question is, there was a crime incident by AutoZone on today. What was that? It seemed like everybody helped you out. Cook County, Mark and everybody was over there. Was that how many crimes that we solved or did that in the last month?
Well, I don't necessarily know off the top of my head. Sorry, are you familiar with the 470 home? No. Maybe I can get back to you. I don't know what transpired the other day, depending on how high that crime was or how severe that crime was. We may or may not have been notified. We're not always notified. But if it's something that's pretty major, we're notified and we take action. But I don't recall that incident there. Yes, ma'am.
I am in information of the block, so I've been in Harvey all my life, and I've seen a lot of changes. And now me being the new generation as he is a homeowner, it's very complicated when you have so many situations on your block now not being handled the way they're supposed to. You know, I have 2 daughters, and if I have 5 vacant blocks, that's not, I have to walk my kids to school every day, and which is fabulous. I just don't feel safe. I don't, and it's very hard, and that's why I'm giving it, because I'm here for my children. Because that's the most important part. I just need to understand, where do we come, where's the safety? Where am I feeling secure at? I'm a taxpayer. I work very hard. I wanna know, I could let my kids walk to school to Thornton without some man pulling up in the van trying to get them in. You know, I just want that security. I don't care about nothing else. I care about my children. So that's why I'm here. When is that gonna happen? When is this patrolling gonna get back to where it was? When are you gonna start pulling up and letting us know? Speaking, being general, let's do some block parties. Let's get this going. Y'all taking too long. It's not supposed to be this long. And we all know that. We all from this city. We know what this city is capable of doing. We need to get back to the basics. That's it. Because if nothing is gonna work, we need to start at 1. It's okay. Let's go with that. Everybody done made their mistakes. We done spent all this money. We done did that. Let's get back to the basics. Because it just touches my heart that I can't let my children come outside to play.
Michael, just start talking.
Thank you for that.
Start talking.
You're right, moving back to basics, it starts with community. It starts with not just the police department, but the city, the residents, and the residents department, and my team as well. If you can give me your address and your information, we'll take a look at where that area is, where you said, you know, there's some vacant homes. On what in terms of? 151st. I'll be sure to make sure to take a ride with part of that, we know we're in a financial strain. We know, unfortunately, that the city doesn't have money. We've laid off some of our police officers, you know, other city employees. And part of what we were doing was trying to have that technology there, so we're not physically there. We can't be, not omnipresent.
No, I'm not asking.
We're not.
I know y'all not genius. I'm not asking for that. I'm
You're
just asking for clarity.
asking for basic police.
That's it.
You know, I understand.
I don't want that extra. I don't need nobody. Hey, that's the lady with the. I don't even want that. I just want the fact that when my kids walk in at 6:30 in the morning, I need somebody to patrol. Period. To see these kids go to school. That's the only thing that's concerned. It's dark. We don't have street lights. So at 6:30 in the morning, it's completely dark on Charleston. I have nothing to work with but my faith. So when I'm taking my kids and I'm praying over them and letting them go to school, I only see y'all when there's something going wrong at
Now
work.
you got the
That's
master
the only
security
time I
guard, but
And that's the only time I see control.
I'm just saying, let's make it make sense. It's not making sense to me. If I'm supposed to be living and being supposed to be doing things for my community, you want that support, show me clarity. Make me wanna do something for my community. If I'm not getting that back, how can you get that?
And that's why I started this off, telling you, we're trying the best we can. We are not perfect. We will do better. And that's all I can tell you, is that we will try to do better. That's why I have this team here today, so they can hear your complaints. It's not just for me, it's for them to hear, because they're gonna implement it throughout the police department, make sure it permeates throughout the entire agency. If you're saying there's some issues on your block and there's some problems, we'll definitely make sure we see to it that we address it. But I go back to what I was saying before about utilizing that technology. It's what it's here for. It's to help us. You know, it's to help my mother that lives here. My 94-year-old aunt that still lives in the city. Other aunts and cousins. You know, if I'm not police chief tomorrow, that's okay. I'm 37 years old. I have a wife ahead of me, God willing. I still have a family that lives in the city, so I care about the city of Harvey, whether I'm here or not. And I'll be honest with you. So when she asked and said what department heads this morning lived in the city, who has family in the city, myself and one other person. So we care actually about it. So I understand what you're saying. We'll make sure that we try our best to address it. But what I do ask is people extend this department, this agency, some grace. You know, it's the same that you would want to yourselves. I started this off with saying we are not a perfect police department. I know that. It's the same department that was raised by the FBI and the Illinois State Police. It's the same department that had so many different issues that we tried every day to repair. It's not the perfect team. We come together, and what we know is that we care about the residents of the city. I'm gonna make sure that we get your address or that specific area on Turlington, and we'll try to address it, okay? So, thank you.
Chief, what's your name?
Constance.
I'm Sergeant Patterson, Patrol Division. I got a question, then I'm gonna elaborate on it. Have you ever called and said you're not seeing any patrol into the police
No,
department?
I've never done that. I didn't think that I had to do that as a citizen.
Well, I only said that because if you in fear for the safety of your kids and yourself, and you're not seeing enough patrol, by all means, pick up the phone, call the police department, and say, I'm not seeing patrolling over here. I live in Harvey, so I'm vested as well. So understand that you're afraid that I gotta walk the kids out here, I'm a female, we understand that. There's not a person that's came in my office or called and spoke with me, or the chief said, I got this phone call and I didn't expeditiously handle the problem. And now that I know that you're not seeing control over there, you're gonna be upset that I'm seeing too much patrol. And I get out myself and patrol those areas when there's an issue like that.
I mean, I do see the difference. I'm sorry, y'all, but I do see the difference. The bus station, for one, completely changed. I feel much safer going to work because I take public transportation. At 6 in the morning, it's not 50 guys sitting outside selling something. I feel the difference. It's just certain things, and nobody's perfect. I just need clarity. That's it. I don't care how you do it, just do it.
Chief.
Okay.
Chief.
Yes.
Mr. Brother got a question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I got it. Okay,
Just start talking.
3 times in my case, you know, the thief's true. Okay, one time, next shop, somebody who, you know, don't stall, I don't know, but everybody said it. So the police came, okay, they broke the door, they broke everything, and then the police, they permit me to grab the everything. Somebody, you know, doing like a stolen car or something. And the police, it was like, hey, oh, take it, take it. They come in like a group. It was a big gang, maybe like a 20 or 40 guys. Why the police? This is one thing. It happened like almost like a 1 year. They permit to grab everything, and then I was not there. And then the same thieves, they broke my door. And the next shop, they broke my door. They steal all my tools. Almost like $20,000. I make the report, right? Nobody arrested, of course. Nobody arrested. They know, the police, they know who was the guys because they have plates, cars, parking in the parking lot. They don't do nothing. Okay. Second time, okay, the police, this, I guess the difference, the same guys are. They broken again my doors. Okay. We call the police after we call 911. Okay, 911 is terrible. Terrible, horrible. Because when you call it, 911? or 911 or something. When we call them, they start making a stupid question and say, oh, how you, oh, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Send it to somebody. Oh, no, because hey, you have to do blah, blah, please. Please, I mean, what's your name? What is it? What is it? Hey, you know, we need, okay, we give your address, we give everything. But after that, okay, some officer, they got stopped by you, and then wait and wait after 1 hour or 2 hours. Okay, something changed, or right now in these days, because that one is like one year ago, you know, so now I got no choice. I gotta stay, you know, sometimes I gotta sleep inside my property, you know, watch it, you know, my stuff, you know, take care of my stuff. And then, now my point is, you guys have it, something, some number or some person in charge, 24 hours a day to respond immediately, because 911, you know what? No good. No work. And then no work, because they show up, okay, and then when they came, so they wasted time, not to the victim, you know, they protected the criminals, because they don't know, say, oh, you got cameras, oh, you got this, oh, you got that. So, in the streets, you know, because they know, you know, the main streets, you know, the cars they threw, and nobody follows these guys. And they know where the criminals. They know, no investigator, no nothing, they know where the criminals.
Okay, well, let me say this, I don't know the specific incident, but what I will do is make sure, you said one incident was a year ago, the other one's a little bit more recent. I'll have them take down your address before we leave today, just like I got hers. And we'll follow up. I can't speak to why. You know, I know there's a way that they prioritize, me and the county prioritizes those calls from high, give me 1 second.
Because.
Give me 1 second. From high to low. I know how they prioritize, and they have to do that legally. So, you know, when you say those stupid questions, I get it. They do ask a lot of questions. Even if I call anonymous and say, hey, I need something sent over, they ask you a million questions. This is part of the procedure that the Cook County Sheriff's Office has to do. They have to ask those. So there has to be
sometimes it's amazing, you know, the victim, he don't have time to, you know, make a description, you know, nice, like a gotta be, like, you know, when you're quiet, because you are desperate, and then you get scared. So, sometimes, right?
What's your address? What's the address of your business?
It's right there by 156 and Austin.
156.
You want me to give the alderman?
What kind of business?
It's like a mechanic shop.
Mechanic shop, 156 in Austin?
Yeah.
All right, I'll be sure to follow.
So, only we need is, you know, somebody who can talk it, talking, you know, like, you know, officer or something, to explain it to why. Right now, so, things got, nothing happened. Everything cool, everything, you know, ready, because I gotta stay there. I got it, you know, in the night. I got it.
Like I said, he's got that, trust me, they're gonna follow.
Yeah.
So
Only we need somebody.
Do you have an alarm on your? Yeah, we recently just put one through AT&T.
But a lot of it's nothing, because they his face, they, you know,
well,
they jump and they.
That's a deterrent. An alarm, camera system, lighting, security doors, those are all deterrents to stop thieves. Like you said, we can't be omnipresent. We respond to calls generally and most times after they've already happened.
After 911, you have another number you can call them to.
911 is gonna be your emergency.
That's only.
That's the first person to call.
I'm gonna have them take your information. I want to get to a couple of these questions before I actually got to leave, but I do want to take some. I know he has his hand up for a while, so.
Okay, with the cameras, are they active at this time?
Yes. Some of them are, not all of them. They're still actively being deployed throughout the city. We're doing a citywide safety initiative, is what it's called.
So they are not completely all installed at this time?
Not all of them.
Okay. Now, I understand, the word from our alderman was that they're only putting them up in the hot spots, watching the, not this alderman, I'm in the 6th ward, so you know who it is. He said they're only putting them up in the hot spots. I had my car vandalized twice in the last 2 months because it's a Kia. There was a camera down there, at least maybe possibly we would see. I'm on a limited budget where I cannot afford cameras and all that kind of stuff outside the house. If the city is projecting cameras to be, they should either be On every block?
Not every block, but it's a citywide, camera surveillance program.
They just put one up at 155th and Myrtle, cause when I went through there about 10 days ago, they had the post up.
I know,
But now
I've
the
seen them all
camera
over.
is up there with the solar panel.
Right.
Yeah.
But the point being is that there's some areas that are not being hit that heavily as those other spots are. And then there are other spots that are being hit on a, we'll see basis.
And what we have to do is, something like that, what was that address?
414 Kelly.
Actually, we have one there, I think we have one at like one.
You gotta be Halsted and Kelly, and not down further than that, and the camera will not view that far down the block.
But the difference with these cameras, the reason behind this technology is not for just to view that one angle. These cameras are utilized where it intertwines together. So if it hits off one camera, it can hit off the next, or the next, or the next. So it doesn't have to be just specifically that one camera that you mentioned. We've got a vehicle plate, this technology that we have a vehicle plate, a vehicle color. If there's a ladder on the top of the roof of the truck, it can identify some of those different features, and it can be able to detect it. So it doesn't have to specifically be one right in the middle of that block. It can be one down at the end of the block, because the zoom capabilities on those devices are very, very powerful. So you can see almost a block down with those cameras. But what I'll do is make sure, like you said, if you're saying that in your area is a hotspot of vehicles being broken into or stolen, we can get that, and we might be able to repurpose it and move it from one location that we're noticing with our data is not heavily vandalized or burglarized, and we can move it to that location, okay? Yes.
Question about drones. If you own a drone, and do you have to have your 107 license in Harvey in order for you to
Yes.
have the, okay?
You mean personally?
Personal?
Yes, ma'am.
To be registered with the police department?
No, ma'am.
With the city, okay. Two, we've been our house since 1974, years ago. We push block clubs.
Yeah.
Is that still done through the police department, or do you have to do that through your aldermanic representation or city hall?
Previously through Mayor Clark, I know he mentioned trying to get the block clubs back up and going. I don't know what happened with that. I believe Ramona
First Saturday
Simpson.
of every month.
I'm sorry, what you say?
First Saturday of every month.
Yeah, with Ramona Simpson, she coordinates that, who's still Mayor Jawinski's, administrative assistant or executive assistant.
Okay.
She coordinates that if you want to, but I do remember they mentioned having those block club meetings, block captains, I believe is what they're called.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So I wanted to know financially, what is the priority for the police department? And the reason for that is I understand the investment into the technology in the data center. However, at the actual building, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we can't even hold people like when criminals or things like that happen, they have to be arrested. I'm under the understanding that they have to be transported to the neighboring town, Phoenix, or somewhere else to be held. So I guess my concern is, I understand investing in technology, but as a police department, the basic need is a holding cell for criminals. It's like, if that's not there, I mean, technology can do a lot of things, but once you nab them, and we got to go to the next town over, I guess financially, that really doesn't make sense. So I wanted to know financially, what is your top two priorities for the police department outside of like bringing back maybe some of the furloughed officers or hiring more? Financially, what's your top priority within the next 6 to 12 months?
Right now, it's definitely infrastructure. That police department, is almost 40-something years old, and there are infrastructure issues there, that weren't taken care of. I don't want to put your blame on one specific person or group or entity, but that department was not maintained. I mean, you have structural foundational issues, you have flooding, you have, at one point, mold. We had to remediate a lot of those different issues. But, that takes a lot of money, almost hundreds of thousands or close to even millions, for either an entirely full gut and renovation of that lockup, as well as the evidence vault, which we actually just did with the grant for evidence. We just replaced that entire division. So now our evidence vault is perfectly, practically brand new to the help of our public works department, our grant writer who got us a grant for that. Lockup is just gonna beast of its own, because again, you have structural issues where this is not your average door. You've got steel doors that are down there that now shift because, where the police department was built on was, I believe, marshland from an old golf course.
Yeah,
So now
golf
you have
course.
issues, foundational issues with the police department. So now, instead of just replacing that door, you have to replace foundational issues with the structure of the brick, masonry, all right, new doors, and those aren't regular $1,000 door, $100 doors, they might be up to 1,000. So of course, the safety of our employees as well as our prisoners is paramount, is number one. And then I would say continuing to invest in technology because as you mentioned, we have 52% tax collection in the city. And we have one of the lowest, we're one of the lowest paying police departments as it pertains to time. Some of these other agencies around us, whether it be South Holland, Homewood, Lansing, and other departments, they're topping out and they're bringing in officers that, what are above our starting pay. Some of them are coming in at the rates of my deputies or my sergeant in other agencies. So, unfortunately, we aren't even getting the recruitment in of, some of these good candidate officers because we just don't have the money to pay them.
Not to go back and forth, but I feel like the same money that you use for the crime center couldn't have been diverted to hiring the level of entry-level officers that you're looking for?
Well,
I mean, I'm just, again, I know
I appreciate your question, but yeah, you're right. We did get grants. We got a grant through the Department of Justice, which is the Jane Burns cop grant. So through the DOJ, we got the cops grant, which I think funded how many officers? 6 officers. So that was through a grant that we were able to put money in. The money that we used for the technology, some of it was through city funds, other was through grant funds. The drone was purchased with a $50,000 grant, but $17,000 of that had to go where?
35%.
Unfortunately. And the police department or the city had to pay that $17,000 back because the city is garnishing, or the comptroller's office is garnishing our wages.
I just have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
If the jail is uninhabitable, then.
Well, it's not uninhabitable at this point. It does have some structural issues and foundational issues.
Okay, so if it has structural issues and foundational issues, then nobody should be in there. So my question is, why did you guys take me there and hold me there?
So there are multiple cells. Some of the cells are unchecked, other cells, some of the cells.
But still, if you saying out your mouth today that it got structural issues and you have a problem with doors, why would you take anybody there?
Well, so this is how that goes. There's a Department of Jails and Corrections, I believe I can get the exact name for it. It's the Illinois Department of Corrections. They monitor jail cells in the county, whether it's Markham, whether it's Harvey Police Department, Markham. If you have a lockup, they govern the lockup, and they say whether it should be shut down. At the time, I'm not sure when you were there.
Well, my cell didn't have no working toilet, no water in it. Then you put me in a question room where you say that something allegedly took place in there. But why would you put me in the only room where there's no video camera and you've known for years that there's no video camera in that room? Why did you not put where is there no paper trail? Even from my internal affairs complaint, Officer Reese never even answered me, never responded to my email. And if y'all paying attention, I'ma keep sending them. I've been sending them every month. Every time I wake up out my sleep, terrorized by what y'all did to me, I send you an email. Cause I'm not joking. If y'all took a oath to uphold the law and you violate people's constitutional rights on a whim just because somebody told you to, you don't deserve a badge at all. You're no more than a criminal. And to sit and act as if we're supposed to trust you with all of this technology for you to do the right thing, and you can't even do right by us on the basic thing. I've never got a ticket on my car for not having a city sticker. But the minute I get into it with the mayor, all of a sudden you can find my house to give me a ticket. Yeah, you can speak to it because it's active right now. I was taken from my home with no probable cause. I was forced medicated. But you haven't been speaking. I've been writing y'all since June. So don't try to act like this is so new. It's not.
Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. I haven't personally received anything.
I'm telling you it's there.
Was it to
I
directed?
for you, I
Was it
for you,
directed
I'm at
to
you,
me?
all of y'all know who I am. Please stop.
What is your name?
Please, Melissa Crawley.
I've heard your name.
I know you have.
But let me say something. And like you said, if we're in the wrong, you have the right to
You
go
know
through-
you was
You have
wrong.
the right to go through
That's
all
why
the
y'all
different
hadn't
things.
evidence.
Okay, and if you want to, you can file a complaint,
I did that already.
and you can follow up.
I
with
did that already. I'm not stupid.
Anybody else, and I do
I have
apologize.
a 4.0
My-
GPA studying law.
my
I've
office-
gone
my office
already
hours-
to the US Supreme Court for some crooked police just like y'all.
My
And I'm
office
gonna do
hours-
y'all the
my
same
office
way.
hours are 9
So
to
keep
5,
ignoring
Monday
me.
through
And
Friday,
I'm gonna
okay?
keep coming back talking to you.
Please do, thank you.
Chief Fiddings, I have a question. What are your thoughts on a citizens review board? You know, in the interest of, you said the mayor's a new mayor, right? So she has a new mandate, she has a new direction for where she wants to go with the police department. How do you feel about a citizens review board and getting the officers to integrate a little bit more into the community? You know, shaking hands, smiling, talking to the residents. How are you doing today? You know, when they're going and they're patrolling and they see the kids, hey, how y'all doing? You know, just the kids are not afraid.
I agree. That discussion came up previously, about a citizens review board. I think we even had some written down information pertaining to that. It was something that we, talked about, we discussed. It never came to fruition, but it is something that we'll jot down and consider. And if you wanna send me an email, bring it to us, and if you have suggestions and ideas, I'm all for it.
Okay, I personally would like to see the police officers smiling a little bit more.
Not so
And,
bad.
you know, everybody is under stress, right? We understand that the city is financially strapped, right? We are all living in the same world, and it is nice to see friendly officers. You see that in other cities and other municipalities. Harvey deserves to see the officers smiling and welcoming them into the meeting. That's all I'm saying. They all have wonderful smiles, by the way.
Thank you.
And we also do have a police and fire commission that is made up of Harvey residents, made up of 3 Harvey residents. So that is something that we have, but the actual citizen review board is something that we can do in conjunction with that.
I
So
know,
the-
y'all came out to my daycare, you all have, come out to my childcare center and, you know, spoke with the kids and everything. The fire department has came out and, you know, did fireman things like that, so a phone call will add that type of comfort, you know, they do come out, I give y'all that credit.
That's it. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Again, extending us grace, and we'll deal with the young lady that was there that had some issues. We'll make sure we address them accordingly. But, you know, thank you for that, and thank you for your suggestion. Yes, ma'am.
Can I piggyback for 30 seconds on her suggestion? Part 4 has a program where they do like citizens academies, where for a certain amount of weeks, you come in and you say, these are your, talk to the citizens, these are your rights, this is what you do, this is protocol, then they give a certificate. If we have the funding, I know we don't have it, correct? Can we develop something like that, piggybacking off of?
Great idea. They actually had it in 2019, 2020. And it was a different chief at the time. I think it was Chief Collins, Chief Winters, Chief Thomas, Chief Winters, Chief Collins, and a couple others. I think it stopped at Chief Collins, where they had it in the police department. Sergeants, command staff were there. I'm sure some of you might have been there. To be honest, you want my honest, truthful opinion?
Please.
I think we needed to get our own house in order before we could do anything else on the outside.
Come on
There
now.
was a lot of issues internally.
Now you're talking good.
We had
And we can appreciate that.
You know, and I think that can be something that we can eventually get back to. But, you know, if we're not together ourselves collectively as a team, how can we be able to do best to give that information to our citizens?
Thank you.
But thank you, I will.
Is that something y'all working on, being together better as a team?
As far as.
You're talking about the actual force, right? You're talking not the citizens, but.
No,
your people
definitely,
who
internally,
wear badges.
in the police department, they're
Okay,
the
cool.
ones that, like I said, how can we have that citizens academy and speak to them about certain things, and we are, at the time, dysfunctional, we have some issues.
Not speaking now, I'm not speaking nothing about the past, I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, now.
I say taxes now.
You know, now, right, now it's better, it's a lot, it's cohesive. But now we just have to, like we said, prioritize having less officers now, financial issues, but that's not an excuse. Even if it's 2 for an academy, you can work to be able to put something together. I'll take her, and I'll take her.
I got two questions, well, a question and a suggestion.
Yes.
The first suggestion, and again, if I haven't seen it, you can correct me.
Mhm.
Is there any way you guys can start walking the streets? Like, or bikes? Only because, and I don't wanna compare it to CPD, I know it's the third largest city in America, I get it. But just simple, like in the summer, it's like bikes instead of cars, or walking instead of just always in the car. And I understand that, you know, I'm not saying the car is not important, but I just think just walking, even like shopping on Michigan Avenue, there's cliques of cops walking down.
Right.
And you feel, I mean, even though I ain't gonna say crime ain't gonna happen, somebody gonna try to pickpocket you, but at the least, you see the presence.
And you're 100% right. So two things, just like that young lady mentioned, you go back, that is basic policing. Getting out, community interaction, talking to the residents on bikes or on foot. Last year, we did have a couple of our younger officers that we had before they were laid off go to the police bicycle program. So you can't just put an officer out there and put them on a bike. They have to be certified, they have to go through a 40-hour course, I believe it is, and then go out.
And they have to be tandem.
Yes. Last year, we did have officers out there in the downtown Harvey area. We're not gonna put them necessarily out there in just regular residential blocks. It's a safety aspect. They have to be partnered up. We don't want them too far away from a car. Because if they get a call, they gotta run back, or if they get into some type of issue, they're stranded basically. But I'll let Sergeant Patterson touch on the program that he had implemented, and we normally do it towards the summertime, because you don't want them necessarily out there in the winter, but I'll let him touch on it.
Yeah, so, our officers do get out in their prospective beats, where they get out of the car, actually knock on someone's door. They go, oh my God, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong. I'm just checking on you. Any issues on the block? What's going on? Now, Harvey is 6.2 square miles. There's a lot of blocks, a lot of intersections. Maybe they haven't made it to your door yet. And especially now with the reduction of force since October. But our officers do get out of the car, sometimes not being safe, walking the block, knocking on doors, just saying, hey, how are you? Any complaints? Those complaints come back to the immediate sergeant, and then they get forwarded to me, and then we see if we can address them. You will see us all the time walking 154. All from Park down to Wood Street. You'll see some city administrators. They will walk in every Thursday, and the police be out there with them. So they are walking and talking is what it's called. Doing that, unfortunately, the people we had for the bike program was still out of bikes, are no longer with the department. But when we do get two more guys, we gotta send them to that training, because there's a lot that goes with operating those bikes, and how to lay them down, how to use the shields, and how to be safe on them.
And officers are also going out and going into different businesses during the days, talking to the people inside the gas stations, talking to people inside AutoZone or the different restaurants. So our officers are out of the car. But the thing is like Sergeant Patterson said, 6.2 square miles. The patrol car is also a form of visibility. So at night at 11 o'clock, we have this thing called Operation Light Show, where you'll see the officers riding around the area with the oscillating lights on, just to show that presence and visibility throughout the community.
Well, my suggestion was, I had a suggestion, but I don't know if it's even a thing. Are any of the officers inside in like mental health? I guess, and I say that because sometimes you may get a 911 call, but it's not necessarily like a crime being committed, but it may be someone having a mental health episode. Is that a thing? And if it is anyone on the force certified for that?
We do have CIT training for our officers. There are courses they're mandated to take now by law. So Illinois state law, it's not a chief that's saying this is the law, they have to take them. And just as well as having the mental health for the residents, you need it for the officers. They experience and they see a lot, especially in St. Harvey. There's a lot going on. Actually, Deputy Chief Anderson has dealt with that program for mental health specifically. We had a therapy dog we bring out to different events through the department, so we can kind of help, because we know that's the way. It's like we're going with an intelligence-led police department. We also have to kind of pivot and go to a more sensitive and concerning type of department dealing with mental health. I'll let him touch on that if he does real quick, if you can.
So we get, we do have, like you said, CIT training, that's a national thing that for Illinois, before we certified in. There's different variations of it. You have crisis stuff, you also have mental health stuff as well.
department and with the entire city as well to kind of help out with the mental health going on with our officers, firefighters, anybody that works within the city. We also do have a location that Cook County support team is located at 160 different offices as well. So we have one that's countywide, and they also work with us closely. We also do have a few crisis negotiators within the department as well. So if we do have any issue where a resident or somebody commutes through here has some type of mental health crisis, whether it's irritated subject, suicide subject, we do have those resources as well.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Well,
Brian first now.
I have a great
I'm
solution for
sorry.
some money for you to
Come
get,
back to you.
to
Go ahead,
hire
sir.
back your, some of the officers.
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
So I have a suggestion for money. So, people love to say that we only have complaints. Actually, we have a lot of great ideas, as the other party residents pointed out. $2.3 million is the amount of the flock safety camera contract. Now, residents were never consulted on that. That was a 5-year contract that was signed. We were never even told about it. I would suggest, like the Village of Oak Park and the City of Evanston have recently done, why don't we cancel that contract and use some of that money to bring back the officers? Because research shows time and time again, like Ms. Eskew said, having that personal touch makes a huge reduction in crime versus having cameras everywhere. Now, the other issue why Oak Park and Evanston canceled their contracts is because they found that all these flock safety cameras are connected, and people were accessing them from other states, including some people that weren't even authorized to make arrests related to ICE, which we all know, doesn't even necessarily have anything to do with your actual immigration status. They were also tracking women. There was one that used a camera in Illinois, one of those cameras you see, to track a woman from Texas who was suspected of coming here to get an abortion. So the Secretary of State has said he's going to audit all these cameras because they were so alarmed. So again, why is $2.3 million of our tax money being used for these cameras that are not just it's not just your old-fashioned camera. They're smart, they're linked. And like I said, they can, you can put any of our names in there and track our faces or our license plate or our car everywhere we go with all these flock safety cameras. And there's no way that we can know how you're using the system. All we have is your word. So that is problematic for me. And I agree with you, especially, we could use that $2.3 million, cancel that stinking contract with those creepy ass cameras tracking us, and do what the research shows works. Put the cops on patrol, like the lady who I 100%, 100,000% agree with, who's not here anymore. She's worried for her little kids. She knows what works. She says, go back to the basics. It's not the technology. So I'm just saying, there's money for you right there on the table, $2.3 million.
I take that in, and that's something we can consider. That was coupled with grant funds as well. Like I told you, in that 2.3, 50,000 was through a grant from the Attorney General's office. So it wasn't just all strictly funds with the police department. So out of that 2.3 or whatever that number, I don't know if it's 2.3. I don't know.
I FOIA'd it. It is.
Okay, well, thank you. I don't know that specific number. You're saying it's 2.3. I know all that 2.3 was not, strictly from the city coffers. Could have been from grants and everything else. I don't know how the line items are broken down. But either way, whether it's 500,000, 600,000, 200, 300,000, that's only for a specific amount of officers. And again, our issue is not us. It's us not being able to pay our officers quality, to get quality officers. We haven't right now. The mayor said, hey, let's bring some police officers back. One of our major key issues and why we have no retention and we can't pull people in because they're going elsewhere because we don't have the high dollar amount to pay these officers coming to the department. They're going to the neighboring towns for 110,000, 98,000, 100. Look it up online, theblueline.com. You'll see on theblueline.com. The city of Harvey is one of the lower paying police agencies within the state, not just the Southland. So I do agree with you, if we could reallocate some of those dollars to go elsewhere.
I would disagree that the laid off officers that have contacted me that are irate, they say that the union rules have been violated, that it's all depends on who's sleeping with whom, to be frank, and they're very upfront with that those are the people that have been hired back and they violate union laws. They laid off union people and kept non-union people, and they said it's a mess, and they're waiting. They said they love the pay. And they can't afford to feed their families, they're waiting on that call, chief, so I have to disagree with you there. They're calling you out on that, and they're saying they're waiting for that call, they wanna come back and serve their city.
Okay.
And they wanna be able to feed their families.
Two things that you can, and I'll be honest, you know, you can go and FOIA the information that you're saying, that you see from the real-time crime center. When you say, and I'm going back a little bit, when you say you can't, the residents can't see what the flock cameras are seeing, I told you earlier that we have to be CJIS compliant within that center. So when that drone deploys, every time it docks, there's a form that has to be filled out to say where it went, what time it went, and specific information, the nature of why it went to a specific call, which can be FOIA. Part two, when you mentioned the officers, there was a list. We had a number of different officers that were laid off within the agency. We've exhausted that list now. You can FOIA that list if you want to. There's a number of officers that we had to bring back per the union. We've exhausted them. We brought back our last officer maybe a month or two ago. Not even a month ago. So as far as our officers need to be brought back, we brought them back. Now we're trying to bring in officers off the streets. One of the issues that we encountered with that list, and maybe some of the officers that you've spoken to, is the fact that they left and went to Burger Ridge, they went to Evanston, they went to all these other agencies that again are paying more.
No, they still don't have any jobs, they part-time jobs. They want their Harvey jobs back.
Which ones? I don't know who you're speaking of.
That's up to them. That's up to them to if they want their name released.
I'll challenge you with this. You reach out to me, you sit down, come to my office, and you give me that list. We'll sit there and I'll call them in front of you if I have to. But
so you think you've rehired all of our officers?
I'm sorry.
Have you rehired all of our officers?
Yes, the ones that wanted to come back. We had to exhaust the list. We had to go through that list and ask them, hey, do you want to come back or not? If they don't want to come back and you found another employer, okay. But if you want to come back to Harvey, come back, and we brought back our last officer. There's a list, there's information that can be looked up, there's emails that you can put, okay?
Okay,
And I know this.
I'll double check.
Do you think you have something like quarterly, so that the community could, see that you are trying? Because the thing is, like, where I live, on 145th, I don't really see a lot of police negotiating. And I would like to see more presence, like my neighbor across the street who are seniors, there was something that happened in their little driveway. I told them to call the police. They said, no, the police not gonna do anything. And I couldn't convince them to do it. So it's like you have to build that trust again. And that's what we're really missing, to show our community that you are here and it's not just for a talk.
Well, something the police department has talked about, my team was trying to set up, and we're still looking to implement, is having the public safety forums. I know Alderman Chapman as well as Alderman Key, they had some in the past. I think one that I attended previously with Mayor Clark a long time ago. But we are looking to put something together where we can, just like this, in an intimate setting, be transparent, be open. I have nothing to hide. So you can, people can say all day long what we're not doing. I'll tell you what we are doing and how we're trying to rectify the issues.
One last thing.
Yes, ma'am.
They get left again, go ahead.
But come back. I'll take two more questions, and then I'm gonna go. Yes, ma'am.
Has OSHA, said that it's okay to take anyone you arrest to the Harvey, jail? Have you been cleared by OSHA?
So they have to send us a notice telling us. We did get a notice previously, and when you do get those notices, you have to actually post. So we did get a notice. I forgot when it was, and there's a list of things that you have to make sure that you're in compliance with. And so if you
clearance.
Yes.
On the OSHA complaint, there was nothing specifically about the cells, it was something about the electrical panel box when they came to inspect. I was the one that took them downstairs.
I've been to the cells, so the
So
cells are horrible.
So again,
there's rust
something
everywhere.
So
I could paint you a picture.
So again, OSHA is something different than what the
but that's why you couldn't take anyone there.
That was not for
because
OSHA.
of
That was not for
the
OSHA.
the department, like I told you, there's two separate entities. OSHA is some that can make the complaint, but then also the Department of Corrections. Jail, it's not just Department of Corrections, it's Department of Jail and Corrections, but I can find out and get it to you, I don't know. But yes, sir.
I just want to pick on what he's saying about the officer and his team working together. I had a group of men there in Cook County come to my house because so-called lady friend I had kind of talked to her for a week. She was worried about me. I wouldn't know her number. They came to go pleasantly, and I said, I'm okay. Just some issues going on with us. That's what I called. But they responded right away within 6 hours, so congratulations, they came and checked.
The goal is 6 minutes, but thank you, I appreciate it. I'll take one more question if you guys got it. Yes, Pastor.
So, your hands are tied because of money. Your hands are tied, and it's a city issue. Your hands are tied there, the lights on at night, I love it. At first, when I was seeing it, because I'm here late a lot, I was like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, me too.
And then I saw it, I was like, I got it. We gotta work together, citizens and the police, although it's hard, I know. But if we can figure out a way to work together, figure out this money piece, and it's just, the money's just gonna be a problem until the city gets its act together. But the point that I wanna make is that at night, I see some stuff that is just very, an issue. I saw 5 or 6 dudes coming out, took the wood off the apartment building and coming out, you know what they up in there doing. You see and I keep it real, you see the hookers and the hoes during the day. You know, in places where I understand
On the camera.
why people are scared about having their kids out. I don't know what it's gonna take except for us to work together. We gotta stop being scared to say something because we already know that mistrust that is building our communities. Although you don't see very many communities where the police really look like us either.
Well, really, Pastor, thank you for that.
And so, yeah, I just wanna say, it's a tough job, I know.
Tough, thankless.
It's a tough, and a thankless
So we signed up for it,
job.
so we're here to
But
do
you
it.
signed up for it and how we can work together better, and especially getting these finances together, which I hear everybody talking about, it'll make your job a whole lot easier, but we gotta clean this place up.
Well, I'm
And
gonna
we
say
can't
that-
be afraid to say nothing.
I'm gonna say this before we
need y'all
close,
to go.
to hit your 3 points. First off, Operation Light Show was something we implemented because we knew the city did not have streetlights. So when we purchased those squad cars, I said, you know, give us the brightest lights you guys can find, throw them on those cars, and I know they blind people get upset, but, you know, at least you know you can see the officer going down the streets.
Yes.
It's cruise lights where they're the non-oscillating lights that stay on, it's a steady burn.
Yep.
You see them in Millennium Park, Grant Park, in the city of Chicago, when they're downtown parked, you'll see them on. Ours are red and blue where you see them parked, so that's normally why we got them out there for Operation Light Show. Number 2, for your second point, what was it? Operation Light Show, definitely working with the community. What was it? What was the second thing?
Money.
Look at the safety of like the vacant buildings
Oh,
and
yeah,
people
thank you,
staying.
thank you.
And then.
So,
And
yeah,
hookers in the house.
so the
Them
second thing
pastors
that I'll
always
mention
gonna
is
talk about that.
deflection and diversion. We know there's an issue on 154. We've seen it online, we've seen people post it. We physically see these young ladies. Deflection and diversion is an organization through TASK, Treatment Alternatives for Safe Communities. It's been around for the last couple of years that we've implemented. We were actually one of the first agencies to get the declaration of being a deflection and diversion agency within the state of Illinois. I think the first or second. And we have one of our detectives is on the actual review board, I believe, for deflection and diversion. That deals with speaking with these young ladies, these ladies of the night, or these commercial sex traffickers that are out here doing this to try to get them help. But the issue is, most times, it's a volunteer type program. We can't force them, and the goal in this is rehabilitation, not incarceration. It's not to lock them up, it's to rehabilitate them so they won't go back into the criminal justice system. So that's what we have there. And then as far as what you're saying with the community outreach, the one thing that I'm proud of and that I'm glad to see right now is with Mayor Jawinski, Alderwoman Chapman, Alderwoman Key, Alderwoman Smith, Alderwoman, Alderman Key, the different alderpersons are now coming together. They put their hands together and said, hey, we are going to be a team. As far as anything that's happened in the past, I can't control it. I can't go back and unarrest somebody. I can't go back and do anything but apologize and say the goal now is to move forward. If the people that lead this city, meaning the mayor pro tem, with the acting mayor, and the alderpersons say we're going to move forward, my team and I follow the order. When you're given your order, you follow your order, and that's what we do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna agree to work together with everybody, and hopefully moving forward, things will get better. Ms. Lennox James Watson, yes. And this is the last question, because I do have to go.
That's that block camera, that's it.
I have two short questions.
Yes.
If money and resources were no object, and tomorrow you could have anything you want, what would be the 5 things you want to implement and or do within the city?
That's pretty
Well,
good.
buy
That's a good one.
or
That's a good one.
100 police officers out the gate. We gonna have an officer.
Oh, hell
We gonna have. Hold on. It's either that or 100 more cameras in the city. So you know, cameras, so let's do the officers.
Build up some trust though, you build up some trust, the trust is totally eroded.
But I think also.
So you need to build up trust, especially with you.
You know, I don't
All
think
my
so.
little guys have problems, some of them,
But I think this meeting here shows that the trust is
I
not
did, that's what I
broken.
was just talking
It's just, I think it's
This is
just
a
a
good thing. This is a
communication
great
breakdown.
thing.
It's communication, if you wanna have more, I'm glad she had this meeting, I hope we can come to some.
You get a check cut.
And if you want me to be completely honest,
Not
it should
that
have
much.
happened before. You know, this should have happened 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Shouldn't be now that it's happening because, you know, a death and a new mayor takes place. This department, these guys have been wanting to come to these different meetings and work with you guys and speak to the community for a very long time, regardless of what people feel. And I see you shaking your head, but regardless of how people feel,
Because
you know,
leaders lead.
they do. Leaders do.
Right, so when you see something wrong, you don't go with it.
You
And
don't.
that's, to me, that's just being a man.
But like I told you before, if it's not illegal, unethical, and immoral, we follow the order. And my team knows that, and we will continue to do so.
Well, how many lawsuits have you cost the city
Yeah, a lot.
for illegal arrests?
I don't know how many lawsuits specifically.
Okay, we talking
Actually, I
dollars
do.
and cents here.
If you know it, you can know it.
You gonna be at over
And
100.
and we gonna go down a whole nother rabbit hole. And like I said, but the one
But
thing.
that's the truth.
But I'm gonna close with this.
That's
But I'm gonna
reality.
close with this. We can't go back and fix it. All we can do is
Oh,
make sure that we
You
work
don't
on
have
it.
to fix it, that's why you're gonna have all the lawsuits to pay.
Which unfortunately,
It will be settled,
unfortunately, it's gonna be on the taxpayers of this city, and it's gonna put us even more.
and you caused it
And it's gonna
for
put
not
us.
standing up
You
doing
get
the
the
right
immunity
thing.
removed.
But it's
If you get the immunity removed, with all due respect, chief, we won't have to pay for it.
Says what?
Immunity,
Well, that's a.
that's why you do the lawsuit.
Well, you got a governor's
You gotta have
race,
enough money to
you got a
do it.
governor's race that's coming up to talk about immunity. So you got a congressman race that's coming up, you know, that's talking about immunity, if you wanna make those type of changes in the law. What I'm speaking of is, like she just said, the alderwoman's mother. You know, I can't go back and change what was done. All I can say is moving forward, regardless
My
of the.
name is, Miss Powell, so you know.
Ms. Powell, thank you. Moving forward, Ms. Powell, we can make sure that we do better. We know we ain't been perfect. We know we've done some things that aren't exactly appeasing and agreed with upon by the community.
Right.
But all we can do is make sure moving forward, we do better. That's it.
It costs the city a lot of
And it's
money.
that speech you give, the speeches you give at the beginning, it sounds a little like fascist Nazism, honestly.
And you know,
But you are reading out, you reading the law.
And you know what I did though?
It's not-
2 weeks ago, two weeks ago, I went to the mayor and I said, listen,
No, it's in the code.
I went to the mayor and I asked, I said, hey, do you want me to, ma'am, do you want me to continue to read that news? Because I was gonna stop. I was just gonna arbitrarily just stop reading.
Man,
Because
look.
if we're allowing temperatures to cool, if we're allowing cooler heads to prevail, if we're allowing all the persons to come together with this new mayor, and they're all putting their hands in, saying they're gonna work as a team with her as the coach, we're here to follow the directive and the orders. So if they're gonna all come together and work together, I'm gonna say, all right, can we stop reading that? Can we scale back on the police presence? Because it doesn't have to be a police state in those meetings,
And
and
it-
that's what
thank you for
we're,
saying
and
that.
that's exactly what we're working towards, but it's also baby steps. So it's not gonna happen overnight, but those questions have already been
Let's get
asked,
to the top
and that,
stage, but yeah.
and
all right,
that,
cool. In the walk.
and that notice is being read, has been addressed. She said temporarily keep reading it, and then hopefully we can go ahead and stop. And my team don't like being there anyway. They'll tell you,
They definitely don't. No, they
No,
don't.
you don't have to have 10 of them, 20 of them there.
Can I appreciate your answer, bro.
Can you answer my question?
What was
The
was
five
mine?
things.
If money and resources were no issue, what are the 5 things you would want to see or see done or, implement?
Of course, more police officers, number one. More police officers, definitely number one. I'm a person, I'm a millennial, I want more technology. I do, personally. But it's not all on the chief. I'd like for these three gentlemen, I just gave you two, they can give the last three. That's real. We're a team. Go ahead, sorry.
No, wanna go back around?
Okay, Deputy Chief. I'm gonna deflect to them so they can answer the last three. I gave her two.
Officer wellness is a major thing, and it's probably something that's important, equally as important as everybody here. Like the chief said, officers, police officers, we see a lot, we go through a lot, we have to deal with a lot. And it's a very thankless job. So I believe that if we had unlimited funds, maybe having a dedicated psychologist for officers to speak to, at the police department would be mine.
DC, you got anything? I would say also, more mental health services for the police department, not just internally, but for our residents. So when we do go to these calls for service, again, the goal here is not for me, it's not incarceration. It's to rehabilitate us, to make sure that we're helping these different people with some of these mental health crises. And we see across the country that it's, skyrocketing. So the goal would be able to maybe have a mental health crisis response team that works inside the police department that we can deploy when these people are having these crises. And it's not, all right, Sarge, and officers go lock them up. Let's try to better give them the assistance and the resources that they need. So that was 4, and one more is more officers. Thank you. But thank you, guys. I appreciate your time.
Do you think residency should be a requirement?
Yes, I do.
Thank
you,
Real quick,
guys.
real quick, before you all go, I just want
Bye,
to.
Officer Charles.
It's no secret, this has been a very tumultuous life
See you later.
across the past 3 years. But this is my open olive extension to you, chief, to the deputy chiefs. What did happen, and even, I wanted to say this when the mayor was here, because she was a part of the voting, and you all were part of the executing. But here on today, I'm extending that olive branch extension to say to each of you, as leaders, let's lead. Right, because that's what we owe these people in this room and the other 18,000+ across the city of Harvey. And so while I know what happened in the rear view, I'm focused in on the windshield, and I'm trying to move in a godly way, right? I'm allowing him to ordain what these next 13 months look like. And so in order to be inclusive, transparent, and have upward mobility, we're gonna have more and more of these. There were tough questions asked today, right? And there were tough statements given, right? And I ain't gonna stop my mom from talking. But the real reality is like, how do we take everything that was discussed today and we move the city of Harvey forward? This is I'm just one of the other 6, right? So this is probably a redundant piece all over. But I appreciate you all for even coming here to allow what you already knew what you were walking into. You knew you were walking into a tough environment today. And there are more conversations that need to be had, but I hope that this serves as a staple for the other alder persons as well, to pick up the mantle and us all figure out how we can move forward. So thank you.
I hope you don't mind, but just like you opened with prayer, maybe your pastor can close with prayer.
Absolutely. Oh, we love that.
Oh, we at the end? All right, well, if y'all don't mind, excuse my seat. Thank you all. Thank you all. And if anybody was offended by what I said, it's males and females that I see out too. And pastors, are we supposed to see this? And we're supposed to tell it too. So this ain't the old school, like you said, Chief. We gotta be together.
Yes, sir.
Let us be in the attitude of prayer. Gracious God, your spirit has been here. There's been tough questions asked and answered. There's a little bit more clarity, but we have a long way to go. But in your spirit, we shall move forward as a city. We shall strengthen one another by working together. And even when we don't agree, we will find a way to come together and to move forward and work together, that there be agreement that Harvey will be a phoenix rising. Lord God, give us traveling mercies home or to our next destination.
help us to make not just this city better, but this state better, this county better, this nation better, and this world. We pray this in the matchless name of the one you pray to. Amen.
Amen. And thank you to everybody that voted yesterday.
Okay, we'll talk about this tomorrow.
17% that voted.
Deputy